Hi, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to a classic quilt block and show you how easily it can be stripologized. This block is called Jacob's Ladder and was first published in 1932. So let's take a look at the block in rough measures. It will be two large half square triangles, and then the other part of the four patch is actually two four patch blocks. So as we look at the worksheet, which you can print from our website for free, you will have just the classic coloring of the block, just two colors, the background and a dark color. You can of course color it any which way you want, and there is an outline here for you. You have the breakdown for the pieces in the block for a 10-inch block, 8-inch block, and a 6-inch block. So for example, our two large half square triangles, you will need two that finish at 5 inches for the 10-inch block, 4 and 3 for the smaller blocks. So always know this is finished sizes. So for the half square triangles, we're going to be using the Master Your Stripology Rulers book, page number 9, to do the conversion. So if you're doing half square triangles, 2 at a time, enough for one, you would be cutting them an inch larger than the finished size of the half square triangle. So for my 10-inch block, I cut them so 1 inch larger. I cut them at 6. So I have a square from each fabric, lay them right sides together, cut it apart, and then sew on the cut edges with my scant 1/4 inch seam, and then I'm able to trim it to 5.5 inches, which is 5 plus the seam allowance. For the four patches, you will see that you will need 4 squares from the dark fabric and 4 squares from the light, depending on what size block you have. Now, what I do recommend when you're doing 4 patches, especially if they're all the same color, is instead of cutting the squares, I would cut strips that are long enough to be able to subcut 4 units from. So I would sew the strip set together, press it towards the darker, and then subcut it. Now, my squares should be 2.5 inch finished. That means they would be 3 cut. So I would cut 3-inch strips, subcut them into 3-inch increments, and then make my 4 patches from there. And then it's easy and simple to just join the two, pressing the seams opposite way so that everything nests nicely. But let's take a look at this block in a classic horizontal layout. So of course, with just the 2 colors in the block, this will give you some interesting secondary designs. But I do want to tell you, by just adding color, you're going to change the look. And then this is an asymmetrical block, so you can actually turn it any which ways. You can alternate the direction and create even more of a fun secondary design with this block. And this is what it looks like in an on-point setting, so kind of completely different. And again, creates a totally different look, but you could definitely turn these blocks in a on-point setting as well to create something more interesting. So here it is, our Jacob's Ladder block, published in 1932.